All right, so part one, I guess, of the engine removal on my 350Z. I've been at it for 2 hours, and this is as far as I got. Uh, I ripped off the intake manifold here. Uh, the primary goal there was to get the spacer out, but it had the rev up lower plenum on here anyways. I thought, man, just take it off just in case I want to reuse that. I'm still kind of debating with myself over which intake manifold I want to go with on the used motor. I might just take the stock DE lower plenum out of that one, polish it up, and swap it in. Yeah, all the intake systems off. I have a Z1 M spec race intake. It's 3 inches all the way through, and it runs from up this region and winds its way down through this hole where the original intake is. And it was here, and you can see where it's kind of scraped up the AC there. My mind's wiped. I've got some fluids drained, and the engine oil. It's just hopelessly burned black, which is brutal considering it was only actually in there for probably 2 days before I drove to Road Atlanta for the track event. Yeah, I figured this isn't so much of a guide through it. Like, I started with disconnecting the battery and then went to town. I started hitting everything with a impact, and when I was done with that, I used the impact to actually unbolt everything. Because I've had the front bumper off a few times, that was pretty quick. There's a couple fender screws here. Once you jack the car up, if you have a stubby screwdriver with a Phillips head, you can get in there and get those out no problem. Then there's 3 bolts on either side under the headlights, and then screw those. And it comes apart easily enough. As long as you have a steady supply of 10mm sockets, I figure you'll lose about 3 an hour on this project. Not sure what else there is to it here. I'm thinking once I may remove the washer fluid reservoir and stick an oil cooler there. That'd be a pretty good location for it. Be nice and out of the way, and it wouldn't be anywhere near the filter location for my intake, which is over here. Yeah, definitely want to run an oil cooler if you plan on tracking your 350Z, because there's no real oil cooling from the factory. Yeah, I got all the grounds done. I got a lot done, I think, in 2 hours. Just a little self-pat on the back there. I got grounds done. Manifold off, intakes out, front bumpers off. I've been chucking everything into little Ziploc bags. I need to finish that up. There's my beat up bumper, some air guides, bumper, Z-speed under tray, the long intake, strut bar, the plenum. I'm wiped. And it's only been 2 hours. Well, that ends part one, and yeah. All right, it took about an hour, but I managed to get the engine hoist together. Picked up at Harbor Freight, bought that and this light here. So the reason behind this is that, like, we have our basement's right over there, and there's like 2 ducts that go into the basement. So the basement itself isn't really considered air conditioned, but it's basically dehumidified. It's noticeably cooler in here than it is outside. If we can keep those doors closed, like the garage door, it'll be a whole lot cooler in here. We're not sweltering to death in the Georgia heat. Like, it's been staying past 80 degrees till like 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock at night. It's just too much. Yeah, so the install, it wasn't too bad. What I would recommend, I grabbed I just grabbed this one here. It's a 16 millimeter socket, just to compare to the bolt sizes here. You can just stick it in, and you can tell if the one you've got is correct. It just makes it slightly easier to match it up as you're going through the instructions. It's one of those instructions where there's no doubt in my mind that it's technically accurate. It's just kind of hard for me as a I don't know what the deal is. Like, I'm not an engineer. Right, so yeah, it's all together. Probably the hardest bit. You will want to, for that joints, like the joints from the supports, you'll want to have them all loose as you put it together, and then tighten it once it's assembled. And that makes it a crap ton easier. I didn't do that, and I was like, why is it not going in? But yeah, got that together. Happy with that. It's yeah, good piece of hardware. Next up to bat, let's keep the light out of the camera. Next up is removing the core support radiator. Like, we gotta drain that, and our plan is to ignore the chain that sounds like a clock over there, and leave the AC compressor on the car. We would just unbolt it from the engine and lift that out. I didn't realize that was an option for the power steering fluid, so I drained that, got some on the floor, whatever. It was due for a change anyways, and it's only like $10 for a quart. Yeah, so I'll get that done. I'll get on that maybe tomorrow or the weekend, and maybe even rip the motor out. It really depends on if I can get Rocco over here to help with that. I can't wait to get this. Like, it's quite the learning curve for me, as I just rip the car apart, really. But yeah, we'll get to work and see what happens from there. All right, put in an hour of work so far this morning. I got radiators out, and the core support's ready to come off. I just need my buddy Rocco to show up. The hood's got to come off, because that's where I'm at right now. As soon as the hood's off, core support's out, and that's really all that's in the way of. Can you see that? That's basically all that's in the way of just swinging the motor out, and after that, it's a matter of getting the new motor home. I don't trust our Jeep Patriot. The suspension on that, we just paid a few $100 to have some components fixed. The motor won't fit in Vicky or Versa either. It's a nice cool morning. I'm still sweating, but it says 68, so I just got the door open, fan on, and yeah, I think at this point I'll just disconnect the exhaust, take the bolts off the test pipes, and take from there. You can see all the grime. So look at that's the AC bit there, and into the organized mess that is the garage. The Mishimoto radiator that I guess let me down. It's full of like bugs and grass and stuff. But yeah, I'll wait for Rocco to show up. We'll get some more work done, and I'll check in after that. All right, update. I got Rocco came over, ripped into the Z some more. There's the hood, and yeah, he just left all his tools. We're just gonna save it for another weekend. Our plan is maybe next weekend or a couple weeks out, get the motor out. We've got everything disconnected except the bell housing and the starter. But yeah, what we got done today, we got took the battery out of there. We got the harness off. Got the compressor off and just kind of twisted the rubber fitting so like it's up and out of the way. But I got all that space in there. The reason I was thinking we could get the condenser out of the way, but that wasn't happening because it's all aluminum lines right there, and we're really hoping to get the core support off and just swing the motor out. But that's not going to happen. What we're going to do is disconnect it from the transmission, and then just kind of lift and slowly inch it forward and up and out, and it should be good to go. I couldn't get the Tomei headers off of this. It's just not happening with the room we have. Like, you can see those wonderful headers in there, but I was able to get like the front ones off, but I just can't. It's just a matter of the tools. Maybe if I had better tools, it seems like the access is there maybe, but the headers, like with the tools I have, the headers are in the way. So yeah, I'll, since it's probably going to be another week or two before next video update on this build, I'll post this for the time being. But yeah, if you like my content here, want to follow along, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. And until next time, hang 10, everyone.